Hey everyone. Yes, I was just out taking a cycle ride today and the topic of grief was coming to me quite strongly. So I wanted to just share a few words on this topic. So there is a quote by Francis Weller, who is one of the most learned scholars on grief. And he speaks about these gateways to grief. One of the big gateways is the recognition that whatever we love, we're going to lose. Whatever we love, we're going to lose. Now, that's a truth, an uncomfortable truth, a truth that really, when deeply contemplated and deeply lived and deeply experienced, is a painful truth. Everything that we love, we're going to lose. And yet, what is the alternative? What is the alternative to not loving? Is the alternative to not love? Is the alternative to not risk, to not be open, to not try, to close down? And I understand why people take that course as well. Maybe it's less painful in one way. I don't know, I guess we can all just speak for ourselves. But just to come back to this topic of grief, that also the unprocessed grief that we carry in our systems, that can fester. And I know that I've found grieving very difficult at times. I can think of 3, 4, 5 things that I've really, really loved in my life, and they've come back around, and sometimes I wonder, have I grieved them enough? I was brought up in the 70s, 60s, 70s and 80s in the UK, where the message we got was, boys don't cry, men don't cry. You got to be tough. You might have to go to war one day. You can't show emotion. You can't show feelings. You've got to be tough. And I understand why that message was there, and yet on a deeper human level, it doesn't really serve. Because to be fully human is to open to all feelings, all emotions, all sensations. And the last thing I want to say on this, and just in slightly to contradict Francis Weller's quote, but actually there is one thing that we can love and that we don't lose. And for me, that is the recognition of the self, the ever-present nature of the self. That is something that it doesn't come, it doesn't go. It doesn't arrive on good days and leave on bad days. It is always present. That doesn't take away the loss of relationships or people, places, jobs that maybe we once loved. But it does give us some deeper grounding and deeper solace in which to base our reality. So my way, which I often refer to as the middle way, is to be honest about our losses and our grief, and see that actually when we don't fully process grief, it can turn into resentment and anger and a closed downness and a frustration, and all of those I can relate to. And yet on another level, there's something here which is beyond grief. It is beyond grief, and the middle way for me is, can we wake up to that, and can we honor our human grief? Both things are true.